in this lesson, I'm going to show you the White Stripes song Seven Nation Army, which is a fairly simple song as far as the riff is concerned, but it'll get you into playing something that's fun and cool, and show you some pick techniques, because I'm going to play this with a pick, and it's all going to be based in E minor. So if you're thinking about the harmony involved, this is all E minor. So the song itself is sort of centered around the bass riff, and it starts out the song, and it goes like this. Okay, so the articulation involved here is this sliding thing up from the E on the 7th fret of the A string, sort of the high octave E, and also involves a pick muting technique. So on the record, he's using like an instrument that has a very dull and sort of rubbery sound, but on this P bass, I sort of have to dampen the strings a little bit to get that same sort of sound. So I'm resting my palm here on the strings, but very close to the bridge, so that when I pick, it sort of has a dull, thuddy sort of sound to it, and it's muted a little bit. And that sounds, more like what the record sounds like. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing the E, and then I'm sliding up to a G, and you got to slide. You can't just fret it. It doesn't sound right if you go. It sounds better if the slide up to that G is sort of the sound of the part itself. So, and then right back to E again, and then I play a D here on the 10th fret of the E string. And then I play the C on the 8th fret of the E string. I'm always counting out fret numbers for everybody's following along with tablature. Sometimes it's a little tricky for me because I think in notes. I always just think in the notes. So it's E, G, E, D, C, and B at the very end on the 7th fret. So. Slow it down for you again. E, slide up to a G, and then back down to an E, and then we go to a D, and then to a C, and then a B. And the rhythm of this also is a little bit interesting. It's what we call a quarter note triplet. So these first notes are normal 8th notes, and then these 3 notes, that is sort of like a quarter note triplet. It's a different feeling rhythm than the straight 8th notes like this. It's a different feel. Okay, so that's the main riff, and it plays along through the verse, and then it comes to sort of a heavier version of that riff where the guitars open up a little bit more, and they play a slightly different variation of it, and it sounds like this. So basically the first time around is the same as the regular riff. And then the second time is where we have the change. When you get to the C, you go back up to the D, and then come back down to the C again, and then to the B, and then at the very end you slide down to an A here on the 5th fret. So let me play that for you a little bit slower. Then for the third part and final part of the song, there's a little transition that's used to sort of finish things off and reset the song back to the beginning. And all it is a G and an A, one bar of G and one bar of A. So again, that's just one bar on the G and the A. So those are all the parts. Now you can go and listen to the recording on YouTube or something like that to hear how the arrangement works between the parts. But I want to point out here how the harmony works. And if we take a look at an E minor scale, you'll see that all the notes I'm playing here are part of the E minor scale. That's the Aeolian mode, the pure minor. Nothing, no funny business here. It's just straight minor. So if I play a 2-octave E minor scale, we can recognize that all the notes that we've played in the song are part of that scale. It's like it's all part of the E minor scale. So this is how you can use the foundation of the harmony to perhaps improvise. If you're playing this song and it sort of turns into a jam and you want to play along, you can use sort of notes, any note really, out of the E minor scale to play along, and it's going to be in key and it's going to be in the right harmony with the rest of the White Stripes song here. So that's Seven Nation Army.